So we've got the first one. So just first off, initial reactions. Do we like the card? Do we hate the card? And why? I want to start with Dunkel, because I spoke with him earlier, and interestingly, he hates the card.
I don't say that I hate the card. I don't hype it because
you did say that, but
I think only Wisdom have so good early spells, so it's difficult to find a place for this card. It's a cool card because you can really make cool tricks with it, but yeah. What the others think about it? So.
Well, pass it on to Vanguard. What do you think?
Can y'all on the stream let me know if my microphone has gone quiet again? Because I don't want to take up too much time if it has.
It's a little bit quieter, but I think it's fine.
Okay. I mean, so my thought on this is, I'm wondering, is this substantially different from the card in Dominion Devious Plot? Like, where are the situations in which I would use this instead of Devious Plot? I guess it has card draw. That's my initial reaction. I feel like it might be a niche card that I would use in certain decks, but it's not a game-defining card, I don't think.
I feel almost as if I have misread the text. Card, just read out the mechanic for me.
So
I don't have it in front of me here.
Yeah, it says transform an allied creature into a copy of an enemy creature, or vice versa. Draw a card.
Yeah. You see, 3 had an example. Like in a drone deck, you get a 1/1 drone squishy, and you transform it into an exact copy of your opponent's strongest creature. I mean, like, you can't say it's not good when, like, best case scenario, you can turn your 1/1 into a dragon, you know, and cycle for 2 mana.
Yep.
Like, is your point that, you know, you'd rather have like a discharge or something like that for early game control?
Yeah, I think I am not yet seeing which deck I would play this in. And I'm curious what other folks on the team would run this in.
I think that there's, definitely in Conquest just for a bit of spice, because there's just so many scenarios where it could be really handy. I mean, you know, if a creature gets dropped down with just an incredibly powerful effect that just sort of changes the game, then yeah, goodbye to that creature. It may have your shittest creature, and I will take it for my own for 2 mana in the cycle. So, like, you know, it's definitely got its uses.
The chat comes up with one idea, so or better say a cool tag. When you get this card and the Hound enchantment and the Red Shaman that gets every time an energy when one creature dies, you have an infinite loop.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you only need one. You only need one card that activates the Hound the first time. So
yeah. Yep.
That would be a
Hoppy.
good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Hoppy, is Hoppy here?
I think so.
I'm a Hoppy. Are you there?
Yeah.
Nope. Oh, you are? Yeah,
a little delayed, but yeah.
Okay. So you were talking to me before about this interaction,
Yes.
the instant win. How likely do you think it could be the deck could be formed around this win condition? Yep. We got a bit of delay.
Okay, so yeah. They already Cruel instantly saw it. It's 3 aspect, 3 different colors. But I think it might also work with Necromantic Cult. If you wanted to do just 2 colors.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very difficult to pull off. I mean, you have to do 3 colors.
It would
definitely
be
doable.
hilarious.
I definitely want to see it work.
Yeah. Okay.
The problem here is that so the 3 colors is not difficult.
I'm just
because
waiting
you,
to see to test it out.
Oh, we're going to struggle with this delay.
Because you play Wisdom, so you can New Horizon. But the really problem here is, I think, that these 3 cards for this combo are pretty bad with alone. So they don't make anything without the other combo parts. So you need card draw and more card draw. And right now you can easy die in this. Cool, nice to spoiler.
Sorry about that. I was making sure we had it ready to go next.
Okay. It's you. Right now you can lose in the time when you get the combo together. So you need 6 mana, the 3 cards, and 1 action to activate it the first round. So that could be a problem. But maybe Hoppy can come up with one deck idea. He's the best one of us for these kind of decks. So yeah.
It is true. We call Hoppy Agent Smith within the team for the one first obvious and boring reason his last name is Smith, but also the Matrix reference, because he has this knack of being able to see these strange combinations and these decks that are unorthodox but very effective, and some of us suspect he may be able to see in code. So if anyone does do it, I agree, Duncan, it'll be Hoppy, but I think it's unlikely. It's never good wanting 3 specific cards which are bad by themselves for a combo. It would be just so funny though if it did happen. So yeah, hopefully it does. Don't think it will. Now, should we move on to the second one, or is there anything else we'd like to talk about this one?
I'm good to move on.
Yeah, move on.
All right, let's say the second.
All right, let me get this resized on the screen here. This is the Magi Wanderer.
Okay. Now, for this one here, I think we'll start off with Dunkel. He had a good idea about how this one could be used.
So first of all, it has the perfect body to replace the old library guards, because he has 3 speed and costs 3 mana. And it's a perfect replacement, I think, in the Elright Purple, because it's like a little version of the Jackery in the Coronis Red version. So you can buff up 2 creatures in 1 turn, like your aristocrat or some slave or something else. You attack them, make some damage, draw a card. So it's a good replacement, because it's a really loss for the deck that the library guards get so nerfed. So I think that's a good place for this card. The other thing is, for sure, I think the artifact, not the artifact, the energy aggro.
Yeah.
The problem is, it's not so easy to find and spot for this card, because it gives not so much wisdom creature-based decks. So yeah, that can be a problem, but maybe we find a way.
Yeah, I think it's gonna, for energy aggro as well. I mean, in order to bring energy aggro to tier 1, we would need to see some more wisdom cards coming through that would help that sort of archetype. I don't think it alone would do it, but definitely replaces library guards. I mean, the body alone, it goes to 3/4. If it places Valor on itself.
If Crusade, you can't put all Valor tokens on one creature, so you need 2 targets for this card when you have Valor +2.
Okay, so Valor more than one is you must distribute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. All right. Yep. Easy, but still, yeah. So it's still got the big body there, and it provides sort of like, you know, a potential draw engine if it's not removed. So I think that the enemy is sort of forced to deal with it quite quickly, which is also a benefit.
Yeah, I really like this card because it's pushed the decks that are really nerfed by the library guards here nerf. So other than the control decks, of course, but yeah, I think that it's finds its ways in the decks, but maybe it comes new decks with it, so maybe Order Wisdom or something else, so Wisdom Corruption or whatever.
The card art is actually quite interesting because it's a Wisdom card. It's in a forest, so that's weird by itself. It's not an elf like almost every other card in a forest. It's and then down the bottom we've got through courage we gain wisdom, and through wisdom we gain strength as the flavor text. Wisdom, that would be wisdom, I'm guessing. Strength, I'm guessing is order, and courage, nature. Is this referring to the Trigon Pact at all, do you think?
Yeah,
And we saw already the artwork for this one card that comes up in the next days, I think, on Facebook with the 3 aspects on one card. So you didn't see it?
No.
It was an artwork on the Facebook page that had only stone here's those stones, but with the 3 aspects on them. So maybe a 3-color shrine, that would be really cool, or a 3-color card, that would be really cool too. So and that gives a hint on it. So I think, yeah, courage is order, wisdom is wisdom for sure, and strange is nature.
Anyone like to debate that wisdom is not wisdom? No. So we're going to lock in wisdom for wisdom. Now, Vanguard, any thoughts about this card? How would you use it?
I'm excited about it. I like the idea from chat about putting this in an Elric Order deck. I certainly got beat pretty badly by an Elric Order deck in the Sunday Golden Ticket last week. I think it's even stronger with this card and the interaction with the Order cards we've already seen. And we don't know what else is coming with this Valor mechanic. So in general, I think this is a very strong card and is going to be almost automatically included in a lot of Wisdom lists.
Yeah.
You can have a really nice draw engine in a Order Wisdom deck with the new Valor cards, because the Sentinel gives 2 Valor. This little dude give 1 Valor, and this guy it's not a guy, it's a woman, but gives 2 Valor. So you can when you distribute your Valor emblems, you can really get much draw, and the protection from the Sentinel. So that could be a really good idea for a new deck. So
I mean, like, I think Elric Order Wisdom it's already just based on slowly outvaluing the opponent. So add a draw engine with, might emblems to be spread across creatures that then become invincible. if I mean, you're removing the might emblem instead of killing them, and yeah, that's good value. So fits right in there. Hoppy, I know we've got some delay with you there. How far behind us are you? Let's just check. I'm guessing it's pretty far.
Oh, probably like 6-7 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm still keen to get your thoughts, so we will wait.
Yeah, I really like this card. Requires, just a little bit of setup. You need at least one creature so you can get the Might Emblem. But I actually want to use it in nature deck, just with like the 3-speed elves and stuff. You can also use Gurko to get Might Emblems on other creatures and draw cards.
For sure. Yeah, Gurko is going to be in all the
I just
valid
really like
decks,
this card's design, though. I look forward to seeing more of things like this.
But I think the valid decks for multicolor, they're going to be just green order and blue order, obviously, and then there's just the really, really obvious fit of Sentinel into a Herm Heal Shell, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, like it just goes straight in there, and even
it's you have a way to make your temple a 4/4. What's good because it doesn't fall to Fire Strike, Fireball, or something else like this, and you can protect him too. So with
it doesn't die.
So one of the problems with the in the pre-stack was when you lose your field on the early turns. But when you can get to the point where you buff 2 cards and protect him through this valor, then you can't lose, I think. So and it's pretty good because when you face a mirror match, and I think in this deck the Radiance gets put in for sure too. So you have a 4/4 Nami and a 4/4 Angelic Temple that doesn't fall to the Radiance. That would be good. But maybe with the other cards that come next in the next days from Fuzz and the other guys, maybe we get the cards right to get an Order Wisdom Nature deck together. I think that would be cool with the new cards for sure. So maybe a 3-color shrine or something.
Yeah. I mean, like, has there been besides Kaini GR, has there been like a solid tier 1 3-color deck, that actually uses all 3 colors, not just Horizons for a chicken?
Yeah, Dragon combo. But
I said that doesn't Horizons for chicken, but just doesn't Horizons in general.
It's difficult to make a 3-color deck when you didn't play the Horizon because
of course, but
you can't. When you play too much shrines, you fuck up your deck and so on. So you can make. So this 3rd color is almost only a splash for 1 or 2 cards, like in the old Kanu deck with maybe 1 or 2 Fire Strikes and the red one for chicken. But when it would be really good when we get some multicolor shrines, not only 3-color, so maybe 2-color shrines in the future, to get better access to some multicolor decks, like a 3-color deck without Horizon.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. That would be cool. So Anyone got any thoughts on either of the two cards just for our reveal that they want to add?
It's total
No one?
speculation, but I'm wondering if this flavor text implies some further cards coming that have the move might emblems to get a certain effect. In this case, you're moving might emblems around to draw cards. I wonder if we might see other cards in the set that allow you to move might emblems around to gain other effects that would be common to the particular
Yeah.
aspects. So in this case,
Like,
wisdom is card draw. I wonder if you would see an opportunity to move might emblems to swift a creature with nature with a different card that hasn't been revealed yet. It's total speculation and could be wrong, but so far we've seen a wisdom card that has some sort of effect with might emblems, and we've seen an order card. We haven't yet seen like what is the special thing that nature is going to be able to do with valor and might emblems, and I wonder if it has to deal with swift or haste.
I think that's a pretty good guess. Yeah, I mean they do have habits of doing things in 3, you know, making an equivalent sort of card for each of the aspects. And if that flavor text is indeed, as rumored, a hint to other cards, then maybe there will. I guess Sentinel is the order one. Then this being the wisdom, and then we are yet to see a nature one, and Swift would be the ability, I would guess, too. So yeah, that's a really good point. Maybe. Deck ideas. I want to move on to what decks do you think we're going to see from the Valor ability, and just from actually like all of the 6 cards now that we've seen revealed. Yep. So if you can get can you get the 6 cards up there, Vanguard?
It's going to take me a minute, but yeah, hang on. I don't have all of them downloaded. I'll go find them though.
Easy.
Yeah, I can start talking. So
sure, go.
Yeah, I think the Radiance gets in almost control decks for sure, and some mid-range decks. It finds its spots, I think, in the priest deck, because when you didn't have the temple, you have problems with handle aggro decks. But maybe we can see an order wisdom control deck that's not 1 turn heal. But for sure, in 1 turn heal, this card is quite good too. So yeah, that's for the Radiance. This card completely punch all brain dead aggro decks out of the meta. So like Crazy Rage and Zombies. Yep. So when this card comes down, the first effect can be cool too against Crazy Rage, because they have really much of only 1 HP creatures. But yeah, the second effect is pretty 3 damage on the enemy's field, or opponent's field, and he can't get anything out what died to the Radiance in the next turn. So he's like shocked for the next turn, because he can't really play anything when he plays an aggro deck. So yeah, the Radiance impacts the meta really hard, I think. Almost of all the cards. Radiance gets such decks, and maybe some new decks with the Order Wisdom or Order Wisdom Dominion or something else like this.
I mean, I love Radiance just because I think that all the players have been wanting some cheaper board clear options, you know, so it's not just like ramp to Kata, you know, boring cancer cockroach of the game. So this is sort of my only concern though is Order's getting too strong. Order is getting way too strong, and I guess all 3 of the good aspects now are getting buffed with some pretty strong cards. No love for the evil aspects as yet. And they won't be getting any from this expansion. So that's my only concern really. Herm Hill might become too good.
In some ways they get buffed because when you look at the Timea, you can put it in Alright purple or in coral blue or something. So to the multicolor decks, they get buffed a little bit, but the monocolor decks, so Crazy Rage, Zombies, and some or Demons, don't get any love, and I think that's okay. They said so that these colors get in the future. This little expansion, but right now it's the time for these 3 good colors, and yeah, I think that's okay.
Yeah. They will probably sort of with the balance patch that's happened, maybe sort of give some love back. I think after these cards come into play and they see what happens. You might have said that already, but this one that's just come on the screen, this is the one I want to talk about, Dicussion. I want to pass it on to Hoppy. Actually, I want to see I'm a Hoppy's idea for a basic Neva Elf Rush deck with this guy.
Silence.
Yeah, there he is.
I wasn't sure about basic Neva, but yeah, the card's really good. Call Jelaya to search him out, and then you can get him back. Get back the call or whatever other 1-mana guys. I'm glad Tornado Outbreak no longer is 1 mana, or else, yeah, things would get a little too crazy. Yeah, he's just so good with all the elves. So yeah, I guess basic Neva works pretty well with him. So many 1-level elf cards that just get buffed. One of the issues was your guys just die to weakness emblems. Yeah, 2 colors. That should be pretty strong. I've done, Dominion elves before, and that was decent. And you don't really need the double nature for anything. So, yeah, it seems like it's going to be really strong. Look forward to playing it.
For sure.
The best part on him is that every wolf and every elf gets in on the battlefield with a weather counter on him. So a wolf gets a 3/3 and so on. And what you shouldn't miss is that this guy is a priest. So maybe I come in the next week up with Order Nature priest deck.
I already know what you're gonna do.
So, but to get it's okay that they nerfed the Tornado Outbreak, because with this guy 1 mana Tornado Outbreak would be really, really hard, because you can bounce something, put this guy down, bounce another thing, and put a wolf with 3/3 on the field, and that's all for nothing.
Yeah. I mean, he's good enough without TO still being 1 mana cost. I mean, you could just get like a Touch of Light or Ambush to finish in a Herm type deck. The strongest deck I think is going to see play with him is Old Care Bears with Advanced Neva, just to have the draw engine there as well for sort of like mid game sort of swarm creatures.
Get some 1 mana spells and Care Bears. And the call or something else, or only
Call,
creatures?
touch of light, ambush. I mean, the old Care Bears didn't have ambush. It had Call of July and I think Landslide before the nerf, and also with Instill being one aspect for 3 aspects, but only 1 order is definitely in the deck now. So instilling this guy would just be insane, because you just all your creatures just get the Valor token and you get another 1 spell from your deck. So that's just insane grave draw.
Do we know, Hall, how this card will interact with the Advanced Neva hero power? Like, if you hero power and make your 2 mana cards cost 1 mana, does that mean that I can return a 2 mana card from my graveyard that now costs 1 mana?
I don't follow.
I know what he means, but the cards that you that are affected by the Advanced Neva are only on the hand, not on the graveyard. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay, right. Yeah. Yeah.
So now we have all 6 on the screen. So yeah, it's all really nice cards. So even the Sentry of the Light, it's a little bit. But he's a touch of light with body. So maybe you can get some place for him. So, but yeah, Diogen and the Sentinel and the Radiance and maybe Timea are the stars right now. We don't know the other 9 cards plus 1 hero, I think, comes. Or was it 15 plus 1 hero?
That's right.
Yeah, that's okay. And yeah, when you see these cards right now here, you can see that the rarities of the cards are all different. So and the aspects. So I think maybe you can get some 1 common for all colors, 1 uncommon, 1 rare, 1 heroic. Yeah. What? Oh no! What? Yeah, I missed that the Sentinel is heroic. No, it's an epic. Sorry. Diogen is. I'm confused. I confused myself. Damn it.
You mentioned before that Holy Radiance push out all of the sort of very simple rush decks, and I agree. Do you think that Sentinel could push out a lot of removal decks? Like, for example, at the moment, something like Wisdom Rage Control. How would this deck be affected when this comes in? And Vanguard, we haven't heard much from you.
Oh gosh, I don't actually know if I have a strong sense of whether it will or not. Do other people have an idea?
Yeah, Dunkel, what do you think?
Yeah, the Sentinel. Yeah, it's really hard for Rage to get now. When this guy comes down and the Rage player looks at his hand and see the fireballs and the fire blast on his hand, so yeah, surrender button. So, it's not only because it's because he can protect these cards, but the cards that he fireballed is now a 4/4, not a 3/3. So yeah, I think it's the most part of the maybe Dominion and yeah, of course Rage that this protection is now really hard to handle here. So Dominion have Cataclysmos, but yeah, and yeah, of course you the new wave of Darius decks can evade too. So, or is it here affected by enemy actions where he was skill? Yeah. So yeah, you can really avoid much of removals and shocks and something else. So you don't lose your cards and you don't lose time against Darius. So I think that this card has the most impact in the first 2-3 days of the meta, because that's really obvious where he gets his place. So
Yeah. Heal Million's gonna be tough. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, with all this Valor stuff going on and just sort of insane value you can get from using it. I mean, you do need to find these legendary creatures whatever way you go, in terms of aspects of what type of deck you build. But I think that a lot of people are going to be trying it out. As a result, do you think we're going to see some cards we haven't seen play in a while, which remove Might Emblems, like Word of Pain? Maybe it finally gets used.
the problem for World of Pain is it does cost really much. So not only 3 mana, you need the corruption levels. So
we know the problem. That's why we don't play it now.
Sure. But that's still the problem, because so the other player put down a Sentinel and puts 2 weather counters, and your turn is to make this weather counters here vanished. That's all. So I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, I mean, you gotta get rid of them. Otherwise, you got to use a whole just removal spell on it to take off 1 emblem. This is a card that is the cost of 1 removal spell for Rage, like same cost as a Fireball, and would remove like multiple emblems. So I mean, in Conquest, I think you could chuck a cheeky little word of pain in there to deal with any Valor problems, or help you deal with Valor problems. Cults also, necromantic cults.
I think the best weapon to handle a Sentinel is to put down your own Sentinel. So that's easy.
No.
So.
Death Trap on turn 4. It's right when he wants to play it.
You can't get around this really good.
And then Death Trap every turn after.
Yeah, you have his 2 protections, or the 2 buffs, and you can't get really good around it. So you need your own big creatures to handle his big creatures, and that's it, I think. So you need your own Sentinel, or you need your own Timea to handle the Sentinel of the opponent. So I think that's the best way. Because right now with the rage spells you have, so your opponent puts down the Sentinel and lost, and you lose. Because you can't get rid of him.
So the Valor creatures, they do die to, say, if Sentinel's out, a Valor creature with an emblem on it will die to creature combat, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank God. Yeah. that would have been a bit silly. I mean, we focused a lot on the creature-based decks that could come, and obviously most of them are creatures here. Does anyone think that some control cards are going to come in? And you hear that you would use them with Parallel Evolution, Holy Radiance.
I mean, it would just be speculation at this point, but I have to imagine there's something coming. Like, it seems like the changes that the developers are trying to make are taking the game in the direction of having to make more strategic decisions about creature combat in any given turn. Like, if I think about the types of decks that are going to be seemingly less strong with these changes. Holy Radiance essentially eliminates, at least in my mind, I could be totally wrong on this, a lot of the typical aggro archetypes, which are not often fun to play against, and also are not always the most fun to play yourself, because there just aren't a lot of choices that you're making on a given turn. It kind of comes down to, I mean, you and I played one of these games earlier today, Hall, just like, what did we have in our starting hands? I think that I see a lot of cards here that require more decisions on any particular turn, whether it's about where to put your Valor emblems, whether to move Valor emblems, whether or not to transform an enemy creature. And I think that that plays to Spellweaver's strengths in comparison to other games that are out there. Like, the speed system in Spellweaver allows for more creative trading of creatures than in any other game like it. And now we're seeing more mechanics that play on that advantage. So I would imagine that you're going to see something that would happen on the control side. If I had to predict, I would say that it would continue to have this theme of choices about creature combat, though, because I get the sense that that's the direction the game is headed. I'm not sure, but that's my sense.
I agree. Definitely, that was some really good insight there, Dunkel.
Yeah, I totally agree with it, because the cards right now are really going in this direction, that you go for creature combats in the mid game. You can, when you play with this, when this card's out and you play against a Crazy Rage, you put a Holy Radiance down. Okay, we are now in the mid game. So Rush is again, with this expansion, Rush is dead, and we go to a mid-range and control format. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I actually really like the direction they're going with creature combat. It's my favorite when the meta allows for it, and this is going to be pretty cool. I agree with the complexity of choices as well. As Vanguard stated before, where to put your might emblems and how to best maximize your value by moving those around. I can safely say I will be timing out a lot on the first week. As you guys know, I play pretty quickly, usually.
I actually made a comment about that earlier today. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people probably already know how fast I am. But this is going to just make it so much worse. Just for the first day, maybe, while I get used to it. But, I'm looking forward to it, though, definitely. Hoppy, I have been asking you to come in just a little bit less than the other guys because the delay is a bit painful, but are you busting to say anything here? 2, 3, 5.
I just want to say, because they mentioned in chat that you can helm the Sentinel or enslave with the enslave. You can also, I think, slave, just use any of the curses. But yeah, I am excited for the cards.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually. I hadn't thought of that. Pretty good way of dealing with it. Sure.
One problem here is that when we go in the direction that we all play mid-range or mid-range control decks, then the 40 life decks are really a problem. So, yeah. And of course, the 40 life decks can play all Radiance when they want it. So, yeah, that can be a problem in the next time. Maybe they fix it a little bit. So, but we saw it right now in the Saturday Conquest last week and this week that you can play 2 40 life decks without any problems. So, yeah.
Yeah, and well, Vanguard showed me today that currently you can play 3 full heavy rush decks. Beat me with an elf and rage, weenie rage and zombies lineup. But that is no more, as we said. Radiant's a big part of it.
The only deck that can maybe come back with after clear board wipe after Radiance is zombies because of the Duke. But when then comes
Still
another
sucks.
Radiance. Yeah, of course. Then comes another Radiance. Oh god. So and so the when you want to play decks like zombies or more aggro rage deck in the future, you need to build it more to scale in the mid game. So zombies you can build it, I think, with dukes and more succubus and so on. But rage, I don't think so. So as
I think for a rush deck, like, an elves type shell build, whatever emerges down that line, maybe Hoppy will show us. We don't know, but unicorns are going to see more play just to deal with this bad boy. Even with calls, you might just want the unicorn right then and there to deal with it, so your whole board doesn't die. Nope. No one agree?
I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah. I wait for. I talk so much, so I wait a little bit so that anyone else can talk. So yeah, rush decks will always find a way. Say I like cookies. Maybe, but not in the way that they play right now. So they have not really a great win rate right now. You can easily lose against Grand Reunion decks and against 40 life decks with Rush right now. So when the time comes now with the Radiance, it gets more difficult. So I think it's time over, or game over, I would say, for the Crazy Rage. So yeah.
In terms of what you said just before, that you can still lose to them right now. You can, but like, for example, like Wisdom, Dominion, Control. I mean, OTK, as it was scary to any rush deck. Like, you'll remember Dunkel, like, preparing for Masters last month, that we just decided that we just are going to ban it. We don't care if we think a lineup can beat OTK. We're just going to ban it because it's too risky. The decks, the control decks that are around now, and even if they ramp as hard as they can, that extra turn is huge. So like, these rush decks have their best chance ever that they've had in a while right now. If you are a rush player, get on ladder now and stay on. Because time's up, I think, in a week.
Yeah, so pre-patch, the Spina combo deck was so strong that you even can lose with the counter deck against it. So I remember the night before the ladder finished, you lose against Cruel Tech with Priest against the Spina combo. So this deck was so strong that you can even lose with the best counter deck. So yeah.
Was that, or are you thinking of Hoppy versus Cruel in the Masters?
What?
Well, I remember Cruel teching in the destroy 2 artifact, the rage spell, destroy 2 artifacts and draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
Just to deal with him. Yeah, and it was one of us. It was Uskafana or Hoppy, and yeah, Krull just busted out 2 of those to destroy all the temples. I don't remember losing to Krull Tech ever, actually.
That's okay.
I don't think that. No, yeah, it wasn't me. No. But yeah. So there was something else I wanted to move on to as well. Actually, we've gone for almost an hour now. Do we think that these cards, like the Valor cards and cards to come, could just entirely push out some big deck archetypes that we see at the moment? And if so, which ones are the likely targets to go?
So yeah, maybe we can see some new decks with the Timea maybe, or the Diogen, so completely new builds. Like,
New versions of the same. Yeah.
Yeah, so like the Grand Reunion with the Dust Titan, that was really new. So we can see some Hemilion green, but around the Diogen. So yeah, that can be possible. But it can be like Timea is maybe only some replacement in an existing deck. I think after the release of the set, we see a lot of Hemilion Priest and maybe Hemilion Blue or Hemilion Green with the new cards, and maybe some hardcore liners that would play 1 turn heal on ladder with the Holy Radiance. So yeah, but
I think that your GR list is still going to be fairly strong. I mean, even against decks that have Sentinel out, I think the creature effects still apply to them, just the same. Like, for instance, I believe that Storm Fairy will still bounce to hand any Valor creature. Dust Titan is going to shock them. I don't see anywhere here that, yeah, it says action, spell, hero, skill, trigger, or activated power. Yeah, so all creature effects that I'm thinking is still going to work.
I think shock is so the shock of the Dust Titan is activated power.
But it
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, yeah. Well, what do you guys think about that?
It's
Vanguard.
I'm not sure.
So action spell is clear. Hero skill is clear too. Trigger or activated power. I think they mean creature abilities with that. So you.
They've just said activated power in general. You're right. So, yeah, I was completely wrong about that. I think that they've applied that.
Of course. Right now, it's no push cards for the Grand Reunion deck in this 6 cards because you didn't have Grand Reunion target or something that supports the strategy. Maybe we can build a new Grand Reunion build with the Radiance, but you see, so yeah, I think Storm Fairy is a trigger. Wow. That's a little bit difficult to say what anyone needs to ask Ivko about it.
Yeah, is enter the field abilities a trigger effect? If anyone on chat knows this, please tell us. Enlighten us. But in the meantime, we'll assume that it is, I think. Yeah. Triggered by its entering the field, I'd say. I want to come back to Parallel Evolution. Now, there wasn't a lot of love for it earlier. But, I mean, come on. It's like take your opponent's best creature, give them your shittest 2 mana cycle. That's strong.
So basically you can make you have an 1/1 out without an effect, and you make your opponent's Angelic Temple to a 1/1 without any effect. So yeah, it can be cool. I agree, but
I don't think it's a 4 of inclusion, like definitely not, but maybe to keep 2 in there for any decks that show up with, you know, really huge creatures. Like also like Tren has got to come into this nature order thing, I think. You know, the Tren card,
this fat tree.
It doesn't see play at the moment. It doesn't see play.
I really see it only one time, and that was 3 months ago. So I was newbie on Spellweaver, and some other newbie places cool hero card.
Were you a noob for like a week? Dunkwood started in December, and then top 10 or like top 3 in January. So the second month he was playing Ender's Masters, and third month he plays first on ladder. Like,
it's a lot of work. So,
I don't trust how quickly you've gotten good at this game, and I also don't like how it makes me feel bad about taking longer to get good at it.
I think your suspect was one time first place. No, it's a lot of grinding and so on. So anybody can do this. Anybody that have experience in trading card games can do this speed grind. So I think that's not an issue. So, but yeah, come we back to Tren. You should. Yeah, I can't anything other about it.
You can't remember?
He's in 0-5 or 0.
What?
I really don't know what one
Tren. More. Okay, so Tren was I think for 3 mana, the 2 aspects, 1 of each, order and wisdom, and I think he was a 4/1 speed, or 3/3. But he his ability was that for 3 mana you can put a Might Emblem on him, and that spells cannot be cast if they cost the same amount of Might Emblems that are on him. So, for example, you don't want your Tren to be TO'd and you think your opponent might have it, make sure that there are 2 might counters, no more, no less on it, and he can't use 2 cost spells. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, Tren. So it's effect for 3 mana Might Emblem on it. It's too expensive. The second effect could be good. So could be. So when you know what the opponent plays, you can you can maybe make some big plays. But the biggest thing about him is this 1 speed. 1 speed is fucking bad. The tree man is another thing, because it's cheap and he really can get some good things. But you must look against zombies. Right now, against zombies, they have a 2/2 zombie for 1 mana out, and this 1 zombie can completely destroy your cool heroic card, because you only need 1 this Death Touch zombie out or one fume. So Tren would need one speed more to be playable, I think.
Well,
But
let's see a cavalry field captain to the rescue. Also, I mean, I agree his ability for 3 mana is too much, but with all the Valor stuff going on now, you don't need to use that. It's just like an extra option there if you've got spare mana, and he's unstoppable if I'm not incorrect.
that's correct.
he-
Yeah, that's
So like everybody's Valor to Tren, please, and just that'd be a pretty good way to finish. I've done that before actually, just in some ridiculous late game situation when I played a version of like Fuzz's Keanu order, and like I managed to win against zombies actually in a golden ticket by just like putting 12 mana worth of emblems to him and pushing their damage through. But like with Valor, imagine how big he could get.
Yeah, I really. Trent is like Rygon. When you see it on the field, you laugh. Because I really didn't think that this card in this shape is any good, because his 1 speed is really too slow for his cost. So you can pull him back and make some locks on your opponent so he can't play his removals or something else. But I really didn't see any spot for this trend right now. It's like Melindra or Rygon, the heroics that are not really good in this shape. So yeah, maybe they.
Sorry, go on. No,
So-
what were you going to say?
And maybe they buff him any later. So, but right now I don't think that he is playable. Yeah.
Sure. So Hoppy has, Armor Hoppy has left, I think, just for the moment. We weren't really using him anyway because of the agency. But Dunkel, you're entitled to your opinion, even if you are completely wrong. You know, you've got to let people make their own mistakes.
Sure.
I think Trend's going to be huge, but I could also be wrong. I'm just probably not.
I'm not perfect, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe maybe I'm Up becomes after the release out with a Trend Diogen Tri-Angelica Sentinel deck and beats me up. But so yeah, it can be, but I don't think so. So yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends. Like the main thing, I think you're right, is like deadly zombies. Taking it out with like a zombie token in 1 turn would suck. So it depends if that sticks around, you know. But otherwise, I think that its size and its unstoppable ability, definitely counteract its low speed in terms of like the value of the card and its casting cost and level requirement. But yeah, I'd like to see it get some play because never does. We'll see anyway. I feel like we stuck on this. We'll move on to some closing stuff. Do you guys think there will be any just pure new archetypes, like maybe just pure Valor decks?
I would say that pure Valor decks are, it's like a nature ordered deck in my mind that is all the cool creatures from nature with the 3 speed and the 2/2 body that gets Valor counters on it. So you can say it's a new archetype, but it's like Care Bears or Hemilion Green with some new cards in it. So
Sure.
when anyone like Krultech or iMobby or something else come up with a parallel evolution combo deck, that would be a really new deck, and that would surprise me when it goes well on the tournament. So, yeah, the most thing is that existent decks existent decks like Priest and Wanton here or something else gets new toys for his cards. So like Holy Head Radiance and Sentinel and maybe Sentry of the Light. So new archetypes would maybe Diogen can get a completely new type of decks out, because with this cycle ability, so you can bounce them back to your own hand, put them back out, and more value. But the Sentinel and the Sentry of the Light and so on, it gets only placed in decks that we have already right now, like Priest or Soldiers or something.
That's always going to happen first. It's people's sort of go to when something new comes in. We'll see what it can fit into. I'm not sure if there'll be enough cards for a new archetype. Alone, I'm sort of with you there. Vanguard.
Well, I would try that parallel evolution card in a Wisdom, Corruption, Rage, Mill deck, because you could force them to take that guy that makes them the Void touched. I don't know if it's possible to use to make it work, but I think you can. I have an idea for Wisdom, Corruption, Rage, Reanimate, Mill that I think the parallel evolution potentially works well in. So that's what I'm going to be trying out in terms of new archetypes. I haven't seen a lot of Reanimate Mill decks out there. I'm going to be trying that.
A funny thing about it is when you have a trend up on your field with 2 Might Emblems, your completely combo is dead.
We're back to Tren.
We have talked about Tren enough, I think.
It's not even in the expansion.
It's not on the screen, and you all have talked about it for 15 minutes.
Oh man, it's like 4:30 a.m. over here.
We should probably wrap this thing up.
I think so. Before this gets any worse. Okay, so thanks guys for tuning in, especially to those who have stuck around to this point. Oh man, and I think Fuzz will be revealing 2 more cards from the expansion tomorrow, so we'll have a total of 8, and that's almost all of them. And then what's the release date? 29th?
I think so. Soon.
Yeah. 5 days.
Yeah. Exciting times ahead. Okay. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I think we'll wrap it up now.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of your nights and/or days.
Get some sleep, Paul.
I will.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Gotcha.